I roped a lot of my colleagues into agreeing to speak in the next half an hour, so I'm going to go quickly. The 5-year plan for community development that the county put in place prioritizes housing for people with serious mental illness. That was in response to pleas from Undersheriff Raymond Rose, who will speak in a minute, to help him get people with serious mental illness out of the jail. The county, in response, put the pedal to the metal on our CDBG funding transitioning into housing. So in addition to this almost $1 million of CDBG that now goes into housing that didn't used to 2 years ago, we now can also invest our $1 million of home, and then the county board puts another $300,000 of its own money into affordable housing each year. We were able to support the recent venture of Larry Pusateri and Lake County Residential Development Corporation, Lake County United, and Lake County Center for Independent Living here on Hawley Avenue in Mundelein. 2 years ago, the county would not have had $250,000 in CDBG available to get this project off the ground. This is going to have 25% of its units reserved for people with disabilities. So the capital comes in from the county side here on the left. Lake County Board does a great job of figuring out how to invest $4 million a year in capital funding. And again, we put almost $2 million of that into housing. Other funds go into community revitalization, economic development. On the other side, the right-hand side, my colleague Jim Menzer will speak in a minute about the Continuum of Care funding that is also from HUD and is more oriented on the long-term services side. And so as Lake County puts the pedal to the metal on the left in terms of churning out affordable units, we turned quickly to the Continuum of Care and said, okay, we're churning out some units. And then we found out that Lake County only got $3 per person compared to DuPage County getting $5 per person from local Continuum of Care funding. This was data from 2 years ago. And so I started to understand why we weren't getting any permanent supportive housing out of the units that we were creating. And one of the reasons that Lake County was behind in terms of Continuum of Care funding is because we had been slow to move to permanent supportive housing during the past 8 or so years that HUD's been asking us to switch our funds from services to housing. We've now made that change rather abruptly, so going forward the Continuum of Care funding is largely centered on permanent supportive housing, but we still struggle. This is our 1 year back to the Lake County Board side of the capital funding. We produced 83 units of housing for homeless people in the last year. Many of that was through rental assistance provided through Catholic Charities. And some of this is sticks and bricks as well. 10 of the units on the bottom row, the special needs row, are in that Fairhaven Crossing building in Mundelein, and 3 are with SILA providers for people with intellectual disabilities. In order for more of these 83 units that we can produce a year for people coming out of homelessness to be paired with long-term services to keep chronically homeless people off the streets, we need the services sector to come and meet us in the middle. We're producing the units, they can be as clean and nice and meet HUD quality standards, but we need the services side to come in and join us. This is where we're trying to produce the housing in the areas of employment and transit. I promise to go quickly so the rest of my colleagues can speak. In case you are interested in sticks and bricks funding, we do have an open housing round. The letter of intent is due October 17th. Please check out our website, submit your ideas if you want to build housing, and thanks to our housing partners who are in the room today.